95 years old and you think he's out there hitting the links. I have a feeling you just take him to the putt-putt course and tell him that he's, at the local country club.
Yeah, Bob, go around the loop-de-loop and through the Ferris wheel.
I just saw this windmill. No, you didn't, Bob.
Windmill. Ferris wheel.
Because I don't think you're giving the proper dues to Marvelous Marv and his gorgeous eyebrows. Look at that smoking
Whoa.
hot. A lot of women would refer to that as a piece of ass.
Have you shown this to your wife?
Well, Steve, I want to stay married.
You point out a person to me that doesn't want more overhead garage door knowledge, and I'll point out to you an idiot.
That's right. If you're not searching the globe to find more knowledge about the overhead garage door opener, you are an idiot.
I stand by that statement.
Less than a month away from D-Day regarding that, Steve. Garage door day.
Yeah, we did set it. We drew a line in the sand, right?
The line is in the sand and drawn in permanent marker.
Yeah.
And that date is coming up the second to last Saturday in August, where you and I will be throwing wrenches.
Oh, you're talking about that garage door day.
Oh, yeah.
See, I was talking about...
Oh, the big event down in Hartford City.
The big trip to the C.G. Johnson house.
Now, believe you me, Steve, when there is an update on the C.G. Johnson home and our inevitable trip to Hartford City, Indiana, where we will no doubt be welcomed with, sashes, maybe a parade float. Because
I was going to say, do you think there would be a float? Because I feel like it's necessary.
It should be, because we are going down there to right a wrong.
To rewrite history.
Hartford City, Indiana, for whatever reason, has decided to shun its, I would say, only favorite son.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
I mean, again, did I look up? Because we've talked about this before, where Wikipedia will have, famous residents from whatever,
right?
Counties or towns or anything like that.
By the way? Is anyone good?
No, I think there's like a few people who made your
town of Jenison,
NFL practice squad or something like that. That
famous people from Cinnamon,
Hartford City, Indiana. Oh man, just gerrymandered to oblivion as they show the little map of it. It's one road, looks like it stretches out.
Let's see. I'm searching for famous people. Notable people from Cinnaminson, New Jersey, according to Wikipedia. No.
A lot of them, then?
There are a bunch. There are probably 25 people on there. I'm 10 in, and I've never heard of any of them.
Yeah, but are they all like an engineer who did this? So they're famous in their field. But if I saw, Bill, the engineer who, helped create, Apollo 11, like, okay, cool, thanks, Bill. Unless Bill's wearing a shirt that says, I created, the rocket for this.
Right.
Nobody would know. You're only, quote, famous in that industry.
Oh, here we go. Jason Mewtwo King Zimmerman.
The Mewtwo King.
That's MEW number 2 KING. Born in 1989. He's a professional Super Smash Bros. Player.
Let me see. Jason Zimmerman has his own Wikipedia because, of course, he does. Won more than 70 tournaments during his career. Career prize money, $218,000, Steve.
What's crazy to think is that he is 8 years younger than me, and they're already talking about what he's won throughout his career.
Quite a career for Jason Mewtwo King, who graduated from Cinnaminson High School.
That's
your
right.
alma mater.
Home of the Pirates.
Went all the way down to Truman Hall.
What's that?
I was hoping you knew. So
Is that a
quick time down at Truman Hall, Steve.
is that a school?
Before he booked it on over, he just didn't fit in over there at Truman. Moved over to Camden County College.
Oh, CCC.
Oh, sorry, Truman Hall, Camden County College. Apparently, it's all one.
Okay.
Didn't quite fit in there. Finished his collegiate career at Lorain County Community College.
Lorain County Community College. They call that the LCCC.
Wow. LC3 is what I would call it. Do you think if we sent this guy a message, because he's got his Twitter and all this stuff because he's a big video gamer. I'm sure he, makes tens of thousands of dollars with people watching him play video games in an industry I'll never understand. Do you think you could use your connections from the Pirates?
My clout.
So you will send him a tweet from your account, because we got to see that you're New Jersey born and raised.
Yeah. I don't think my Twitter mentions any of that, but I'll add it.
Just add it.
Cinnamon's favorite son.
Yeah. And then
Steve.
And then we'll change our podcast one, because you'll say, hey, I'm half of the Steve and Kyle podcast, and we'll change our bio to the biggest Mewtwo King fans ever. And
then a picture of us crudely photoshopped into a picture of him.
So he has a book coming out explaining how to best play Super Smash Brothers. But anyway, we need...
That seems terrible.
You and I, and by the way, this guy has less hair than me. That's no joke.
Oh, boy. He's what is he, 30?
He's 30. Less hair than me. Looks like he's rocking a chin strap.
Oh, no.
It's not great. Yet he has 181,000 followers on Twitter.
Okay.
So we need to really kiss the ring in this regard, and then essentially lie to get him on our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when he's realizing that hey, I'm not here for video game stuff. They don't have any idea. You just drop in do you remember Yoshi from Super Mario Brothers 3? And I'll go, yeah, Wario. And we'll ask him about covered britches.
What exactly is the goal here?
181,000 followers, Steve. The goal, as it has been since day one on this podcast.
You're just looking for a retweet.
I want a retweet, I want to share, and I want money. The goal is if we can get a few bucks off of this thing, we're in the hole 3+ years as of this week, officially.
Yeah, happy anniversary, by the way.
3+ years we're in the hole.
All right.
So I need Mewtwo King.
How about this? How about instead of going through all this bait and switch, I just send him a message and ask him for $100.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
That way we don't have to do an interview with Mewtwo King.
Well, I kind of want
even though we would have... Oh, man, can you imagine all the stuff we could talk about? Be like, hey, used to hang out at Wood Park? Yeah, me too.
I'm telling you.
Hey,
this is...
Remember when the 7-Eleven was at the corner of Riverton Road and Route 130?
Yeah. What if he hated high school?
I'm sure he did.
Put it in his rear view, couldn't wait to get... He lives in Florida now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, so he went straight down. He took the Hobie path.
Uh-huh.
He went straight down the eastern seaboard. Said, I can't deal with this town anymore. After 3 community colleges and a hall. And he decided to book it.
The hall.
Whatever Truman Hall is. So... we excel in those things, though, Steve.
We do.
We excel on these dumb interviews with, everybody we've spoken to on here. We hear similar things I was kind of nervous because I don't really, I don't know what to say. Well, you and I carry the onus, and no doubt will we have to carry the burden with this loser. For God's sake,
hey,
you want to talk about...
You don't call him a loser. He is known to play Melee using a claw-like grip on his controller.
Wait, so he holds his controller like an idiot? Where they have, the fingers and they...
I don't know what a claw-like...
That's what I'm assuming. You've held a controller before, though.
And you just kind of hold it
So we can theorize what a claw-like would be, so he can push the buttons.
He's going like overhand.
Yeah.
Huh.
But, oh, boy, I have so many questions for him. Mainly, have you ever touched a boob?
Look, He's regarded by some as the greatest smasher of all time.
Uh-huh. Smashing buttons.
He's got an extensive career.
Is he the first one? I mean, obviously you didn't even recognize him, but we took the time to look him up. Do you recognize any from your town of Cinnaminson? Cinnaminson. There's no extra I there on the end?
There's not. Let's see. I recognize one, but I only recognize it because it was somebody that, like, growing up, my neighbors used to talk about, and that is Larry Ferrari, or Larry Ferrari, as they used to say.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just remember my neighbors.
Is he a descendant from the Ferrari family and the Ferrari automobiles?
I believe that would be Ferrari.
Well, you mean potato. Maybe nope. This is one of those that, we've been pronouncing. You hear that buzz?
Gone now, right?
Yeah. Okay. You where was I? Oh,
gone forever.
You remember how we've all been playing like Monopoly wrong until something on the internet came out like 10 or 12 years ago?
$200 unless you land on.
Yeah, and the free parking thing was just a stupid gimmick.
All right, let's read about Larry Ferrari. Larry Ferrari, March 4th, 1932 to November 20th, 1997. God rest his soul. Born Lazarus Louis Ferrari.
Lazarus, huh?
Wow. Was an American organist who hosted The Larry Ferrari Show.
Wow.
From 1954 to 1997 on WPVI-TV in Philadelphia. A weekly Sunday morning half-hour program of organ music.
Hot dog.
Need to find videos of this immediately.
Hot dog, Steve, because, this all goes back to if these people have some type of, even a notice, whether it be online or anything, yet the fact that C.G. Johnson in Hartford City, Indiana, and now I've looked, while you look up old Laz, I've been looking for notable people, famous people, anything from Hartford City, Indiana.
Nothing?
There's none, Steve.
Well, while you continue to look.
Oh, boy.
Be wooed by the soothing organ sounds of one Larry Ferrari or Ferrari.
It's Sunday morning in the Delaware Valley. For over 25 years, it's been a Philadelphia tradition to join Larry Ferrari at the organ.
It is Ferrari. Larry Ferrari.
Well. The descendant from the automobile family himself.
Beautiful. It's got lit candles.
Here's Larry.
Good morning and welcome to our Sunday morning musical get-together here on Palm Sunday in the Delaware Valley area. And we have beautiful music for you this morning, along with the organ and the wonderful voices of the Mercer County Chorale, which will be joining us a little later on in our program.
Mercer County Chorale, the MCC?
Wait a minute.
So
you're telling me this is a weekly program?
Apparently.
Some light music, and this is called The Heather on the Hill. Hope that you enjoy.
See that wink?
See that hair?
It's from 1982. All right, so the hair is probably very perfect for the time.
I have to tell you, this doesn't seem better or worse than any organ music I've ever heard.
Yeah, I guess when ranking famous organ TV shows, I would say that this is right up there.
I'm thinking of the competition, and you're right, it's definitely a medalist. He's sitting up there in first, second, or third place. There's no doubt about it, Steve.
What do you think, Larry, old Lazarus got paid for this? Or do you think this is one of those broker
Well, it
things?
wasn't like syndicated, so it's not like what Bozo the Clown was or anything like that. It was literally just WP whatever in Philadelphia.
This? So
graphic
they just flash up pictures. Look at that. The set is moving. Oh, no, it's probably the camera.
Is this an audience-less performance? Was there an audience at the start?
Was there an audience for the organ show on Sunday morning?
I mean, unless he's in a church.
What? How does an organ make that noise? You're on board, aren't you?
I can't get enough of the guy. Where do you think old Ferrari is now?
He's in a grave. As noted by me saying he died in 1997.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
So he did this right up until he
show.
passed.
He might have done the show the morning he died.
He died at the organ, right?
Doing what he loved.
Like, he worked 43 years on WPVI-TV.
Yeah, that's Channel 6.
And you know his family has $0 to show for it. Because how much can you realistically pay a Sunday morning organist for WPVI-TV?
Still, though, it's a big market. I mean, that's top 10 market. He might have been banking six figures from this.
Inducted into the Hall of Fame of the Broadcast Pioneers of Philadelphia. Boy, that's a long and illustrious list. Ward is after he passed away, so they couldn't even fit him in while he was still kicking. Ward was accepted by his longtime colleague.
Now, where's organ rank on the hierarchy of instruments for you? It's close cousin to the Idiot Machine.
It is. It's very close cousin to the Idiot Machine. I would argue slightly above the Idiot Machine.
I agree with that. It's got like 3 different tiers.
Yeah, there's a lot to handle. And I don't know about you, Steve, on WPVI TV in Philadelphia or any of its competitors, did you have a Sunday morning piano show?
Not that I know of.
I think there's a reason for that.
Boy.
Larry Ferrari kicked the bucket 97. Woo.
Back when I was in high school still, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a big moment of silence during civics class. Would have been more fitting if it was during music class, but
yeah. Well, we're not very musically inclined, so maybe you weren't even in a music class that year.
I was never in a music class.
Yeah, not by choice.
Yeah, no, I was terrible. Anything music related.
So do you think Cinnamints in New Jersey right now we could find a single commemoration of Larry Ferrari somewhere?
Do I sense that something is happening here?
No, I'm just trying to bring it back because I want to relate.
Are we going back to my motherland?
I'm trying to compare it to C.G. Johnson because, I mean, for crying out loud, I bet you in 20 years Mewtwo King will have a tree or something with his name underneath it, and I wouldn't be surprised if Larry Ferrari has a little bench with a plaque or something like that.
Let's see. I would assume that if we were to go back to the motherland, to Cinnaminson, more people will have heard of Larry Ferrari than will have heard of Mewtwo King. Mewtwo King.
Well, yeah, but it also depends on the generation you're going to ask. I mean, if you're going to ask anybody, I mean, I would bet 20 to anywhere between teenagers and 25, they're going to know Mewtwo King
over Larry Ferrari.
Over Larry Ferrari.
All right. Well, we got to figure out what the net worth is because people know rich people, not poor people. Larry Ferrari.
I bet you Larry Ferrari was broke. Larry Ferrari had a drug problem.
Larry Ferrari net worth 2018.
There can't actually be.
Boy, what did you say? Mewtwo King's total
218,000 total earnings so far.
Larry Ferrari 200,000.
That's not that much, Steve.
Neither's Mewtwo King.
Well, yeah, but he's 23 playing Super Smash Brothers. This guy played the organ for 43 years on television, and he died with barely a penny in the bank.
I don't know. He died with $200,000.
$200,000 worth. That means everything he owned.
Look at that. Born on New Year's Day, 1932.
I get the impression that Ferrari was the type of guy who lived in the same house, from 1953 until 1997 when he passed. Worth like $83,000.
He was known for his role as guest organist in 1951's Chief Halftown. I'm sure that was racist.
At least he didn't get like a Native American face paint.
Oh, his list of nicknames: Larry Ferrari. Also Ferrari.
Chief Halftown.
And also Larry. So his nicknames were his name.
Boy, as we dig deeper, this guy was really interesting.
Please tell me more.
Chief Halftown, Steve, was an entertainer who hosted a children's show that aired on WPVI TV.
Of course.
From 1950. So while I'm reading this, I need you to look at what Chief Halftown's net worth is.
So it looks like maybe Ferrari appeared on Chief Halftown in 51.
Yep.
Kind of got his inroads because just 3 years later,
he had his own organ show.
And
he never once again appeared on Chief Halftown as they had a falling out.
Oh, no.
I'm speculating that Larry Ferrari was a racist.
No, I don't think so, man.
Originally intended for a 6-week show, Chief Halftown went on to become the world's longest-running local TV children's show. Wow. Full-blooded Native American from the Seneca Nation in New York State. His signature greeting was East Da Sasaway, which is Seneca for let's get started. So do you have...
East Sasaway.
So he ran a local television show for 49 years. He passed away in 2003, Steve. Really enjoyed those golden years. 4 years before he died. Imagine starting to do children's TV once a week when you're 33 years old. Mm-hmm. 33. You do that until your 80s and then decide, you know what, it's time I relax. It's time I enjoy. And then you die 3 years later.
Yeah, it's not great. All right, let's check out some.
And he is also inducted into the Philadelphia Broadcast Pioneers of Philadelphia again after he died. What is the Broadcast Pioneers of...
At 7:30.
Chief Halftown and his friends.
Good morning, tribal members. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Easta Sasale. Pizza Tulahe Tatitska. That's for the old guys used to watch my show when they were kids. Now they're watching my show with their children, and what a thrill it is for me.
49 years. That was like this podcast. Welcome, let's get started. Oh, that's for the other old people. You know, people used to listen to this show and watch this show when they were kids, and now they're starting to have kids. And we'll talk about that in a later episode, kids, about how you have kids.
By the way, it's Sunday, July 28th, 2019, the year of our Lord. It's the Stephen Kyle podcast. We just got right into it today.
This is among the deepest rabbit holes we've jumped into. We're in local
No, I don't even think...
television.
No, because we're still only... Like, we're on the first tier of side, like, you know, diversions, because we started talking about the famous people from our town. Larry Ferrari popped up.
Yeah.
We haven't diverted too much. Larry Ferrari. Lazarus. Larry Ferrari. Okay. All right. Anyone from Jenison host a TV show? Don't think so.
Let me see. Notable people. So okay. So I wasn't born in Jenison. I was born in a nearby town and grew up in a nearby town until third grade. And
okay, what town is that?
Wyoming.
And
now I know that town.
With the Great Plains State. Wyoming, Great Plains.
Yeah, Big Sky Country.
That's Montana.
The Yellowstone State.
That's no.
Jellystone?
Jellystone is from Yogi Bear.
Potato State.
That is Idaho.
So from Wyoming, professional boxer Buster Mathis Jr. was born.
Buster Mathis Jr.
Now, Buster Mathis was known for a...
TV show that he hosted?
No, he had a pay-per-view fight.
The Organ?
Pay-per-view fight with Mike Tyson in 1995. Tyson's second fight since being released from prison.
Was that I Want to Eat Your Children?
No, that was... no. This was... I don't think this fight was that contentious because Buster... I mean, listen, the guy's a slog.
Well, he's from here.
Awful.
Can't be any good.
Mathis Sr. died a few weeks before Mathis Jr. fought, and in the third round, Tyson knocked Mathis Jr. out.
Okay.
Many believe that if Sr. had been alive, Buster could have won the fight. That's not true.
Makes no sense because he was not fighting for him.
10 days after the fight, Buster Jr.'s trainer and friend died. So this guy had a rough month.
Rough run.
And then decided to retire when he was 26.
Safe to say that the worst part of that month was getting knocked out by Mike Tyson.
I'd argue Dad dying's up there. Falling asleep for 10 seconds in the scheme of your dad.
I actually meant that the opposite way that it came out. I meant to say the best part of that month was getting knocked out by Tyson.
That makes more sense.
Makes a little bit more sense, right?
Yeah.
Because when you said that, I was like, idiot, didn't even hear me right.
Maybe he wasn't close to his dad, so maybe you're right.
Maybe
the best part of his month was his dad passing away. Although this Wikipedia entry would have you believe that his dad was in there going to slip in a couple cheap shots.
Yeah.
And he retired at age 26, Steve.
Okay. What is he up to now?
He is a substitute teacher in his off time. He also is the vice president of a non-profit, offers elementary school children the bully prevention program through a boxing technique called peekaboo.
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 Huh. I think he remembers getting knocked out by Tyson?
He had a no contest against Riddick Bowe.
And he's from here?
Yeah.
Where's he live now?
He's still here. He was most recently a substitute teacher at East Kentwood High School.
So he's right around the corner.
Yeah, we'll go talk to him. Think we get him on?
I bet we could.
You get Mewtwo King. I'll start grinding for Buster Jr.
Why don't we get them on and conference them together?
And then I'll say, hey, that fateful month.
All right, so now
December 1995. Buster, I'm going to read you 3 events. Your dad died. Joey Ferriello died.
Who's that? Oh, that's
his
trainer?
His longtime friend and trainer.
Okay.
And then you got knocked out by Mike Tyson. Could you rank those 3 in terms of what was the worst? Because we have a theory.
Because one of the hosts of this podcast, won't say which one, made a bold prediction.
So notable people, Steve, from Jenison, Michigan.
I'm still waiting for an organist / TV host.
Let me start you off with, ever heard of Glenn Duffy Shriver?
No.
He's an American convicted of spying in China.
He's from here, huh?
Apparently.
So you're from a town of traitors. I'm from a town of champions.
Of an organist and video gamers. And the video gamer couldn't get the hell away fast enough.
Hey.
David Brandt, retired player from the National Football League. Played for 3 years. Just enough to get you a pension.
What's the pension? How much do they get?
I don't know.
$100,000?
Mark Dewey, retired Major League Baseball pitcher, Steve. He finished with a 12-7 MLB career, 168 strikeouts as a reliever. Not a bad career.
No, not at all.
From 1990 through 1996, he pitched.
So
in the major leagues.
He was pitching during the time of Larry Ferrari.
Yeah, he was actually doing something, making money.
Yeah,
something Larry knew nothing about.
Hey, $200,000.
Paul Grasmanis.
Wait, how does net worth get factored? Is it like all the stuff you own?
I'm pretty sure it's your collective. Like, if you sold your life today, Steve,
so if
you have more?
So if I sold the house,
yep,
sold the cars, sold everything,
yep.
I don't think so.
The house? You know, I mean, even if you split everything in half, because you know the wife's leaving you. You're still at over $200,000
because I don't want to surpass Larry Ferrari. He's from my hometown, man. He's a legend.
I would bet today you make more yearly than Larry Ferrari made in his last year working for WPVI-TV in 1997 when he died at the organ.
Did he do anything else? Like, did he run an organ store?
No,
maybe?
he's worthless.
No.
He doesn't even deserve a park bench. The park bench costs more than his net worth.
Let's see.
They're probably bulldozing his childhood home so they can build some, crappy apartments over top of him. Paul Grasmanis was an NFL defensive lineman.
A lot of athletes from this neck of the woods.
Played from 1996 to 2005. Long career. Benny McCoy, Major League infielder. Oh, boy, that's way back in the 30s Benny McCoy played.
What's he doing these days?
Sleeping for eternity. Died when he was 96. Died on his birthday. But you're 96.
You think he's blowing out the candles and then face into the cake?
Born in Jenison, died in Granville. So
oh boy, really went far.
Well, I mean, he went to the Detroit Tigers and went to the Philadelphia Athletics. But, I mean, from start to finish, you're right.
About 6 miles.
Richard Grinnell, current United States ambassador to Germany. He was the longest-serving U.S. spokesman to the UN, Steve. So, I kindly ask you to suck it, because in the neighboring town, the town we're in right now, Steve.
Yeah.
And if you want to count Grand Rapids proper, I guess you have Floyd Mayweather would be the most famous from Grand Rapids. But this very town we sit in today, Steve, and now this is what we need to do. Mm-hmm. We need to get some monuments for this guy. Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner, the dude from...
actor from the Twilight series, played a wolf or something.
I didn't know he was from here.
Yeah, born in Grand Rapids, grew up in Hudsonville, Michigan,
How
Steve.
about that?
I think we need to get him a tree.
We got to find out what his address was, and then go by his house.
When was the last time you saw a Taylor Lautner movie?
I don't know if I've ever seen a Taylor
There's
Lautner
a good
movie.
chance he's back. There's a good chance he took the Benny McCoy route, left for a few years,
Came on back.
came back, died blowing out the candles.
Oh, I just recognized the name of somebody on the Cinnamon list.
Oh, wow. How many names down are you before you recognize the first one? You said there was about 20.
I think there's maybe 25. Larry Ferrari was probably around 10 or 11. But I do recognize the name Brian Propp. He was a professional hockey player, played for the Flyers.
Oh, okay.
I never knew he was from Cinnamon. Look at that.
We've got a
National Hockey League left winger for 15 seasons, radio broadcaster, businessman, philanthropist, and Philadelphia Flyers Hall of Fame inductee. Did not know he was from Cinnamon. Look at that. Oh! Joseph Houghton Taylor Jr. He's an astrophysicist at Princeton University. Look at that.
I got to tell you, I really think Taylor Lautner might be back. I think we should just go drive around. He hasn't been on TV or any films in 3 years.
What's his name?
Taylor Lautner. Lautner. He has not been anywhere in 3 years, Steve.
Taylor Lautner address.
That's right, folks.
Is it that easy?
We're going to go try to hunt down. Actually, just search, what do you think their parents are? Like a Bill?
Oh, let's see.
Bill and Jean?
Looks like he still lives in Los Angeles, according to this.
You can have your listed address anywhere.
Very legit-looking website. You think he's still here?
He's dating Carrie Fisher's daughter until 2017. I think he's back.
He's in Aquarius. Oh, wait a minute. Old contact information. Here we go.
You're on his...
Melrose Avenue, Florida. Beverly Hills.
Jesus. His signature looks like he just sneezed. I don't know why they have his signature on Wikipedia, but thank you for that.
Let's see.
We need to get these famous people from our hometowns and get them on. Because those, like you said, we just...
So it's like a Like a contest to see
Yeah.
who can get the most famous person
Yeah.
on from their hometown.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the most famous one from my hometown, Mr. Larry Ferrari, has been in the grave for the last 22 years. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, God. I did find
I think we go to his grave.
Larry Ferrari?
Mm-hmm.
Think it's in Philadelphia?
I bet it's in Cinnaminson. Bet it's at Lakeview Cemetery in Cinnaminson.
Larry Ferrari.
That's Ferrari. Just like the car.
Find a grave memorial. West Laurel Hill. It's in New Jersey, right?
Sure.
Nope, he's buried in Pennsylvania. West Laurel Hill Cemetery, Montgomery County, PA.
So, I guess he's a traitor then.
Again, much like Mewtwo King, could not wait to get away. Nobody stayed. Nobody.
No one did.
You left.
Yeah.
You need to be on this page.
Yeah.
Your brother left.
I think that I should be on that page. I think that
Listen, I'll say this.
I need to find just one person on this list that I'm more famous than. And can't we just add stuff? Can I just hit edit?
Yeah.
You are logged in.
I think they'll probably check it. But yeah, you link it to the radio show.
Start editing. Oh, boy.
Everybody from Hartford, Indiana. So to get back to the original point that we started 28 minutes ago. The notable people from Hartford City, Indiana, I just struggled to find them. Mm-hmm. People listed below were born in or residents of or closely associated with Hartford City. Edward Everett Cox started a newspaper.
Yeah.
Henry Krimmel was a glassmaker.
That's a noble career.
Kevin A. Ford, this would be the only one who really matters.
Retired Ford Motor Company.
Retired Air Force Colonel and NASA astronaut. Jay Neff, newspaper publisher and mayor of Kansas City in 1904. George Washington Steele is an American lawyer, soldier, and politician in the 1880s. And Wayne Townsend was an American politician.
Is that the trainer?
He was literally a gubernatorial nominee in 1984. So that's the list, top to bottom, in Hartford City, Indiana, of notable residents. And you're telling me that up until our message 1 month ago or 6 weeks ago, they had forgotten their most famous son, C.G. Johnson himself, the inventor and creator of the overhead garage door opener.
It's an abomination.
And so you and I are just looking to right or wrong. So I don't think a float is out of the question.
No.
I definitely think this is the time. And now it may be a bit pompous to think, man, I really think this would get us on the news.
I think it definitely would. I think it should. I already have half a speech written.
Oh, yeah, I want a keynote address. And I want a key to Hartford City or whatever they give you for that. Maybe it's a ceremonial garage door opener to Hartford City.
That'll open any door.
Any door. Just rob them blind. So we need a couple of things down in Hartford City. One,
I want to be pulling out of the town square or wherever the big presentation is, and I want a group of people to be standing there utterly confused as to what the hell they just witnessed.
Because it's going to be a wide-ranging speech. It's going to take shots at the non-overhead garage door openers.
Yeah. I'll probably put in like a Vince Lombardi quote,
but
attribute it to C.G. Johnson.
And I'll mention the Wayne Gretzky quote.
Oh, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're going to have our,
we'll have easels set up on either side of us, and we'll bring those posters that were hanging up at the radio station with like Inspiration Golf Course and Focus Eagle.
And we're going to bring our banner that Chris Pruitt gave us last week. It's just going to say Van Wert's #1 hometown podcast.
Maybe we'll cross that out. I don't know. Maybe Philip can do a quick rendering for us with whatever the town is. Hartford something.
Yeah, that are just gray duct tape. You and I Sharpie over Van Wert. So, but for that to happen, we simply need some feedback from the fine folks down in Hartford City, Indiana. So I'm going to do that right now, Steve, as I follow up with our dear friend and the curator of the Hartford City or Blackford County Museum, Sinuard, and we're going to see where he is at.
By the way, I am editing this Wikipedia page right now. Steve. I need a nickname. Everyone else has a cool nickname. Steve. Oh, I know. I'll do
Tortellini.
Steven.
Steve.
No, I'm going to do
Tortellini.
Steven and then Steve in quotes. McKiernan. Okay, born 1981. Okay. Professional radio producer and host.
That's true, yeah.
I mean,
should you put that after noted podcaster?
Radio producer and host. Radio producer and noted podcast host.
Yeah, there is. Okay, I've emailed Sinuard. So again, that's what we're looking to make happen.
Yeah.
Is this trip where you and I can be welcomed with open arms in another community. This would be our third community we'd be welcomed into with open arms. The fine folks of Boston, Massachusetts. The disinterested folks of Van Wert, Ohio, and Convoy, Ohio.
What about Dolphin?
Oh, Dolphin. We never did make it there, the big rivalry. And lastly, we're now looking to make friends in Hartford City, Indiana. So hopefully, I still think that something like that can happen, Steve.
Yeah,
I still do, and I think we try and plan this thing for next month, for next spring. Get out there, throw a little plaque on a garage door bench in front of a house that used to be C.G. Johnson's house.
It's gonna be good. All right,
so check the Wikipedia for Cinnaminson, New Jersey. See if it's still there. That our friend Steve is still a notable resident from Cinnaminson, New Jersey.
That is CINNAMINSON. Noted podcast host, graduate of Cinnaminson. Oh, I don't even know how to spell my town name. Minson.
But we slightly digress because as we got onto this topic a little while ago, is brief reference to being less than 1 month away, Steve, from the garage door project at my house. Now, you're the most experienced of this.
Done it a million times.
I have ordered the door.
Mm-hmm.
It will be arriving the day before.
Saw that.
I will be ordering the opener. Pick that up at my leisure. It's just a box.
You going smart?
No. Waste of money.
Okay.
Can add it later. It looks like it's a waste. It's wholly unnecessary.
The reason I got it is because I wanted the quiet door opener.
Yeah.
And if I got the quiet door opener, the one that I wanted, came with it.
But I looked, it's about $50 extra, and it's just I don't need it. I have an opener in my car, which is the only time I'll need it now.
You don't have remote start?
No. Katie does. I'm
telling you, that's the key.
But again, hear me out here. She opens the door 1 inch and hits the opener on the out. Like,
totally,
that's it, right?
Totally doable.
So it's not even an inconvenience.
What's really useful for me is in the winter when I'm upstairs, I'm getting ready for work.
Right.
I get out of the shower. First thing I do, open up the app on my phone, open the garage door, and then as soon as I see the little thing showing me that the door is open, go into the other app, start the car. So by the time I get downstairs,
it's all warm.
Oh, it's nice and toasty.
Man.
You may want to reconsider.
But again, we're on the main floor. She's getting ready and eating breakfast in the kitchen. She just has to open the door to the garage, press the button, which is 1 inch from the door, and then the problem is solved. And then she can start the car.
Hear me out.
Okay. What do you got now?
You get that garage door opener.
Sure.
We run a button to your bedroom.
Yeah. No, we just throw it through the attic, right? And then just drill a hole.
And just drop it straight down. Yeah. So it just kind of dangles right above your pillow.
And just reach up and hit it in the morning.
We won't even put the button on there. We'll just give you 2 wires. You just gotta touch them together.
Saves ourselves some time. Now I'm already planning on this because
hold on. I need to make sure this is in the calendar. What is the date of this again?
August 24.
August 24, I believe. Yep, I already have it in there.
That's a Saturday. I put it in my calendar.
Garage door install extravaganza. I have it in there from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
You're probably right.
Boy, I'm really kicking off vacation with a bang this year.
What do you think? Because I know we talk about this and we joke about this, but it is going to happen with this because needs to be something done with the frame, the trim outside the garage door. Over, under, I will put the amount of trips to home improvement stores at 3.
You know, I want to stop by maybe the weekend before.
Okay.
Take some measurements. And then we can go to the store.
Sure.
Early.
Yeah. Start at the store.
I'm thinking it's a bold method here.
Yeah.
Buy more than we need.
Wow. And then return what we don't use.
Return what we don't use.
Wow.
Last weekend when we were putting in the railing upstairs.
Yeah.
And I knew I needed a special drill bit to drill into the floor to
sure.
put the posts in there. We bought 6 of them because
because
a net went out while we were actually recording this podcast.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, just buy like 2 of this, 2 of this, 2 of this. She came back with 6 drill bits for a total of like $80.
Jeez. You turned 5?
Used the one that I needed, and we got $65 back.
Hey, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you're saving yourself a trip, which in all of our projects, that would be wise to plan ahead that much so we wouldn't have as many issues as we have every time we've done a project. So, yeah, I think the over-under is 3, just based on additional parts, things. Now, requests from you, Steve. You've done this before. I mean, we talking, fully charged drill batteries?
Oh, yeah.
Things like that I can get done. How about anything for your leisure? Drinks, food,
maybe
any
a couple
requests?
pizzas around lunchtime.
Any other drinks? Would you like soda, water?
Do water.
Maybe some tea.
And maybe water, maybe some red Gatorade.
Some red Gatorade. Okay, yeah.
But not that G2 garbage.
No, you don't want the...
I want the standard... I don't want the diet Gatorade.
Yeah, you want the fruit punch Gatorade.
Yeah.
That's blood red.
Blood red.
If you take one drip on any of your clothing, it's forever ruined.
Yes. Maybe one of those fans that they have on NFL sidelines that sprays water.
Hang on. Let me start writing some of these down.
You can get one of them at the rental place.
So the cool zone from the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The misting fans from the NFL.
Uh-huh. I mean, I am helping you.
No, listen, and I'm just trying to help you.
Would a slip and slide be too much to ask?
No, done.
I think we can stack all of our tools and all of our supplies at the end of the driveway.
On the slip and slide? Oh.
At the end of the driveway.
Uh-huh.
So when I say, like, hey, Kyle, I need another 9/16 bolt. Okay, boss.
And then walk back up the driveway. Yeah, but are you okay with redneck slip and slide? Where it's just a tarp.
Like lawn and leaf bags.
Yeah.
Some like Dawn dish soap.
It's just paper bags that we can't get too wet because they'll tear. Yeah, and then a bucket from Costco.
No, I need one
legitimate slip and
that
slide.
has like a little tunnel that you go through and then a splash pad at the end.
Now, we will be doing, I think our plan is to rig up and do a time-lapse video again like we did when we demolished APS 2.0 before construction. Just so you can see minutes of you and I standing around looking at each other, scratching heads, and no movement in the garage door overhead.
Yeah. I think that's definitely something
because I have
we need
concerns
about
the door.
What about? Why?
Well, I mean, you've been over there. We've now repaired this door twice, different fashions, and it's uneven.
That it is.
And I think
Did we come up with an idea for making it not uneven?
No. Didn't we just figure that a new door would fix it? Figured out. Maybe
I'll tell you what. This door will be installed. Uneven?
It's like every other time we've installed the door. Just throw a few shims in it.
Yeah.
And then it still won't open or close.
It'll be a seasonal door.
A seasonal door. Hey, honey, gotta park outside again this winter.
Do you need it to open in the winter and summer? Oh, jeez.
I mean, if I had to pick, I'm picking winter.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to park outside.
I think we can do that.
Yeah, and then in the summer, you just blast the air conditioning and cool it down real quick.
Yeah, that's why you got to get that remote start.
Your seasonal garage door opening. So yeah, that's a big day for me. I'm nervous. I'm ready. I don't undertake projects like this. The only reason I'm even considering it is because, you're there and you've done 4.5.
Yeah, I have. I've done quite a few of these. Now, did you go with...
Never a double stall, though.
Oh, boy, I got to see. Did you go torsion spring, or did you go...
Huh?
Did you go the long... Send me the link so I can see.
Torsion, huh?
I mean, if I was installing a door,
sure,
I'd go torsion spring.
I mean, I probably thought that.
Look, you don't want to have those poverty springs that just dangle. You want the torsion spring. You know the spring that we replaced on your door? That's mounted above the door?
Yeah.
That's the kind of spring we want.
Yeah, that's the standard, right? And this door is 20-some years old. That's up there now. Yeah, I'm opening the order and going to send you the actual door that I purchased. Because...
It'd be a shame if you screwed this up.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't even look.
Did you sort by price and pick the cheapest?
No.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think you were supposed to look at the type of spring. I thought they'd all be the same. Why would they all be the same? Showing it also 16 foot by 7 foot, white insulated, raised. It is affordable. Now it's got an R value of 6.3. Steve, do you know what that means?
Probably means it doesn't have torsion springs.
Me neither. Easy set torsion.
Wait, did you go insulated?
Spring. Of course I went insulated.
You went insulated.
Am I a mongrel?
Okay.
Yeah, white insulated garage door. R value of 6.3. Easy set torsion spring, Steve.
Boom. Looks like we got a winner.
Good construction. Boy, in their features, written good construction.
Oh, it's good to know.
2-layer construction. Easy set torsion spring system provides easier, faster, and safer do-it-yourself installation, which is absolutely what we're looking for. Opener reinforcement bracket and 1 strut required for use with an opener.
Good to know.
Why wouldn't it be used with an opener?
Look, maybe they haven't heard the good news that C.G. Johnson has been spreading.
Nylon rollers.
Oh, that's good.
Includes 1 support strut, bottom weather seal included. Rear track hanger kit.
Mm-hmm.
Lock and opener purchased separately, Steve. Not included.
No.
Not
I'm glad
included.
to hear. Glad to hear that you got the torsion spring.
Of course I went with the torsion spring. What am I, some idiot? I mean, I told you I knew what I was doing. That R
By the
value,
way,
though, huh?
I'm officially part of the...
You're a part of the Wikipedia?
Yeah, I don't know how to save my changes, though.
That R value, 6.3. Oof.
It's good. It's really good.
Well, are we going to get to this today? What we've talked about for about 4 weeks now, Steve. We got an email, and let me see if I can pull it up very quickly. We got an email about... It was probably 6 weeks ago from a listener of this podcast, and it turns out a listener of your radio show to a lesser degree, that he had, for some reason or another, picked up on the on our podcast here.
Yes, yeah, I think he had heard about it. Maybe on the radio one day I had mentioned it.
Nearly 2 months ago. Recently started listening to the internet broadcast, tried a recent one, and promptly downloaded all of them.
Look at that.
And we read this whole email on there. So we talked about this again about 7 weeks ago, how we wanted to call this guy and just see where he was at with the listening, see what was going on in our lives at this point. This is our friend Dan Scheich.
Yes.
We have a lot of questions for about, well, one, why? Because we've told people too, we don't want to exclude people because we're 150 plus episodes in. It's not, obviously we don't want to do that.
158 today.
I could see how it's daunting though, because if you hear something and you realize, oh boy, well I can't start that, it's too far. It's like, hey, I'm not going to start a TV show. It's 9 seasons in. Mm-hmm. That's why we tell people, well, just listen to the year in reviews and hear a few episodes here and there. And then we had that project that we threw into the loose ends folder, which was the hashtag Steve and Kyle Essentials.
Mm-hmm.
We never once followed up on or completed.
No.
But Dan Scheich decided to listen to the whole thing. We have another, I believe Matthew Harden emailed us, and he was going back, and he had been listening to the entire series of podcasts. So, we're going to give Dan a call here, I think, with no warning, and see why. That's my only... why, Dan?
Well, maybe. Let's see. In true Stephen Kyle fan lore, he will say, well, I had nothing better to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was bored as hell, and this came across my feed.
I was getting a root canal, and I thought, well, things could be worse. I could listen to this. Do you have a number for him? Let's give him a buzz.
Oh, God, I thought I already had it for you.
Boy, I really want to call Larry Ferrari. I mean...
Ooh.
Like
Ooh. The resident, like the...
no doubt his estate.
Do you think you could get, like, a key from the Larry Ferrari organ? Those are keys, right? Just like piano?
Yeah.
Organ keys, piano keys.
Yeah. Yeah, they are called keys.
You never know those idiot machines.
All right.
Press this organ rectangle.
What's this guy's name? Dan?
Dan Scheich, friend of the podcast, lesser friend of the radio show.
Mm-hmm. Why isn't it ringing?
Oh, God.
Hey, Dan.
Uh-huh. So that should be ringing then?
Dan, you there? According to this, it's connected.
Do you think Dan picked up without it ringing?
Well, he did. He did it 23 seconds ago. Hey, Dan. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and hang up on Dan.
Second time's a charm, though, right? I'm sure it'll work.
Yeah. Yeah.
158 episodes of these. Still can't figure out a phone. Was that an indictment? That's an indictment on us, right?
Yeah.
And we actually talked about before the recording, like, hey, want to call Dan today?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
There's
Have you turned it off and then turned it back on?
I will have you know that there is no reason that this should not be working. And I don't know if we're going to get to Dan today. You want to talk about garage doors more?
I guess it's time to go, huh?
We're at the 1 hour mark. I mean, we held up our end of the deal.
I did want to talk about, Steve. The newest edition of Sports Tate with Kyle was released this week.
I saw that.
Very excited.
I saw that it was released a bit early.
Second time in a row. 2 episodes in now, Steve. 2 episodes released wildly incorrectly.
Yeah.
2 different issues, but I think by episode 3...
You think you're going to nail it?
I think I'm going to nail it down. So by the time it was supposed to be released, I saw it had a couple of hundred people had already downloaded it, which was not the way it was supposed to go. So we nipped that in the bud until it actually was released Friday. I recorded earlier this week. A little more sports focused. Now, obviously a sports podcast, but like kind of nuts and bolts sports this week was.
Okay.
So
you're breaking down like the nickel defense.
I did get to, like I talked about on last week's episode here, I did get to the Russell Westbrook trade and what an NBA superstar actually is in today's NBA. And then I also talked about I would argue what should be the biggest crisis facing the UFC in the years to come.
Oh, boy.
So I was able to talk about that for a little bit. A couple topics I've been interested in a lot lately, as well as the very first edition of Rate My Take.
Still missing the mark on that. Should be Rate My Tate.
Listen, I don't even want this title of Sports Tate. I hate it.
Why didn't you come up with a new one then?
I did.
It's yours.
And you were like, I believe our text conversation was, it's got to be Sports Tate.
What was your...
I didn't have anything else nailed down, but I was spitballing myself. I was thinking of the Achilles, like I talked about the Achilles heel with Kyle, things like that for the title. But we ended up on, against my better judgment, Sports Tate.
Oh, hey, why don't we get Dan on the line? We'll get back to that never. That sounds about right.
Your call has been forwarded
to an automatic
voice system. Dan Scheich
is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Well, Dan, you done effed up. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast calling you, and you're not there. I mean, we're calling you exactly when we said we would 3 weeks later.
Not only are your takes dumb, your phone prowess is also dumb. I don't care what you're doing right now. Dan all worried about a random phone number calling him. Oh, no, I don't answer weird phone calls. It's a Sunday morning, Dan. Pick up the phone. Just trying to spread the good word.
Are we? Are we trying to spread the good word?
All right. Do we just interview Dan's voicemail now? Is that what we should do?
No.
It's probably just as interesting as Dan.
Seem all wound up today. All right, Dan. Well, we'll get you next time. Never
going to happen. Talk to you in September.
You were saying?
Yeah, boy, before I was so rudely cut off by that ringtone mid-word.
Is this the worst podcast we've done?
Yes.
I mean...
No hesitation, Steve. This is the worst episode we've ever released. Those should normally happen in like the first 20 to 30, when you're still figuring everything out. We're 158 of these things in. Mm-hmm. 158. And this is far and away the biggest violation of trust between us and our listeners we've ever had.
Well, we
here.
Did watch nearly half of an episode of the Larry Ferrari show from 1982.
We talked about Mewtwo King.
Who's that? Oh, the video game guy.
The video
from my
game
town.
guy. Smash Brothers uses a claw.
Claw grip. Hey, if anyone knows Mewtwo King, tell him we were talking about him. Number one fans right here.
Sentiments
and go Pirates. Praise, love, and honor to the alma mater.
Oh, wow. That's nice. That could work.
Yeah.
It's a nice song.
Hey, remember Freshman Hall?
Truman Hall. Remember. That's where Mewtwo King went.
This was his pre-Truman Hall days.
Again, the newest sports...
Senior Court?
Yeah. Homecoming King? Huh? The quad?
We didn't have a quad. We had Senior Court.
What was that?
It was the school was a big square. Like there was a big courtyard.
You know what a square makes, right?
Senior Court.
A quad.
Look, quads are for college. Senior Court is for high school.
Boy, have I been put in my place. So as I was saying...
Mr. Markovic? Earth Science?
Earth Science?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like geology?
Oh, Earth Science.
Oh, okay. So as I was saying...
Mrs. Sarson, right? She was always drunk. That was always the rumor.
Whoa! Yeah. The school drinker.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Looked like Big Bird.
I can't think of anything more offensive to describe a human person.
Really?
A human like an actual person. You're going around saying, "Hey, Big Bird." No, that's up there. That's high on the list, man. Especially for a woman, where that's especially rude. It's not Little Bird. It's not Skinny Bird.
She was tall. She was very skinny. She was very tall.
Beanpole.
Oh, that would have been better.
Better than Big Bird? A big, fat, fluffy, yellow bird? No, that's offensive. Okay, that's it. It took an hour of garbage, but the poll this week is, what is more offensive to call a woman, Big Bird or Beanpole?
How about one
and
about...
I'm already counting my W this week.
How about who is the more famous celebrity from Steve's Town, Larry Ferrari or Mewtwo King?
We'll throw them both on there. We'll throw them both on there this week. I forgot the polls last week because I didn't save my notes, so we didn't have any last week. Again, really good at this. 158 episodes in, forgetting to write things down, can't manage social media. We're 3 weeks removed from wasting 1 hour to upload a 48-second video. So this last week, Nikki Constantine uploaded a 1.5-minute video on Twitter to show how dumb we are.
How long did it take her?
It didn't seem very long.
Okay.
So as I was saying, the newest episode of Sports Tate was released last week. If that's your
Paternoster Field?
Baseball field?
No, I think that was the...
Or was that Mr. Paternoster's field?
That was the football field.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And it was a name. Did you have a famous Paternoster in Cinnaminson?
I think it was George.
He wasn't on the list.
That's a damn good point. I think it was George Paternoster.
Paternoster.
I think it's P-A-T...
I guess. I'm sure it's right.
George Paternoster Field. Look that up. I bet Cinnaminson High School, home of the Pirates, shows up.
How'd you spell that again?
P-A-T-E-R?
N-A-S-T-E-R? N-O-S-T-E-R?
Maybe N-A-S-T-E-R.
George D. Paternoster.
There you go.
Class of 1975. The Buccaneer Yearbook. Cinnaminson High School.
Buccaneer, yeah.
We can't do this again. I'm putting a stop to this. Enough's enough. Okay? C.G. Johnson, fine. Mewtwo King, fine. George Paternoster, 1975 graduate from Cinnaminson High School, is too far. I won't allow it. You want your Paternoster knowledge, you look for him yourself. I'm putting my foot down. It's the dumbest thing we've ever done.
Okay. My apologies.
Fast 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is it my turn?
Sure.
Okay. Number one.
Who cares?
No, I can't. I can't do that to the one person that likes the Fast Five. I got to do it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fast Five. WWE Raw reunion.
Ugh, boring. It's always neat to see legends, but still, it's you know what it is. It's a ratings ploy to get a 1 week big ratings jump because things have been struggling. Because
so do they try to incorporate them into current storylines?
A few of them, but most of them you just kind of see them in backstage segments as current superstars are kind of walking around and they interact a little bit. Cool to see some names, but again, it is what it is. It's a bunch of 50 and 60-year-old guys who haven't wrestled in forever trying to, bring viewers from the late 90s back in.
Boris Johnson.
Is he going to be any different? Like, it's just going to be the same feuding? It seems like as divided as we are, England is just as mad at everything over there.
Yeah. Yeah,
they really do.
It was a very hold my beer moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And now,
we hired we elected a dummy. Oh, just wait.
It's been
that guy looks so disheveled all the time.
Yes. His name's Boris. I mean, I don't think Boris has ever been properly sheveled. If you're named Boris, you're eternally disheveled.
I like the stock photos that they always use for him. It's that one of him licking an ice cream cone. And then the other one where he came when he was because he was the mayor of London, right?
Yeah.
And it was at some event where he came ziplining in, but his zip line got caught up, so he just hung there for a half hour in a stupid harness, holding 2 Union Jacks. And he looked so pathetic.
Oh, yeah. Again, it's almost 4 years since this whole leaving the European Union thing started. Mm-hmm. They are 0% further than they were that day.
Yeah.
It is nothing but infighting, and there's a deadline of October. It does not seem like it's going to go off without a hitch.
So if the deadline comes and goes, and everything's not squared away, then they don't leave, right? It goes back to how it was?
I guess. I don't know how any of that works. I don't know why any of this is happening. But I know it's all going very poorly.
All right, next, the Mueller testimony.
Yeah, I didn't watch any, followed most of it secondhand. I don't care anymore simply because it's just going to be one side saying he was awful and he's a liar and the other side saying, look what he just said. Can you believe this? Mm-hmm. Done with it. there's nothing more to be said. Nothing's going to happen from it. It's the ultimate moment of deflation.
Up next, Mr. Rogers.
You know, I didn't see the trailer yet for that.
You haven't watched it?
I did. Did you see the documentary?
I did, yeah.
A couple years, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Yeah.
That was tremendous.
Very sad.
I didn't think it was sad. It really...
Well, I mean, sad in the sense that, I don't know, that guy seemed so pure.
Oh, sure.
And so awesome. And I don't know, because I guess I kind of related it to, like, today's world, and it made me sad to think about how, as nice as this guy is, and, like, for those 2 hours I'm watching it, I'm like, the world's a pretty good place.
Yeah.
Because I'm Mr. Rogers. And then, like, to walk out back into reality and realize, no.
Did you tear up at all?
During the movie?
During the documentary?
No.
Man. Those last few minutes where they had all of the interview subjects kind of talking about Mr. Rogers and what it meant. Man, that's where it hit me, because I was Mr. Rogers era, but late, right? I mean, I was very young when he was towards the end of the program.
Yeah.
But I still understood how long it had been on. So, outstanding. I can't wait. I think Tom Hanks, I mean, the epitome of Mr. Rogers, right? In celebrity world is Tom Hanks. So and obviously Tom Hanks is a tremendous actor. So I think that is going to be very, very good.
And fifth on the list, something that may be of interest to Muty King. Muty King.
What do you got, Muty?
It's the Fortnite World Cup. What's going on right now?
Claw grip, man. What more can you say?
The next World Cup, Fortnite. Here's everything you need to know. I mean, I don't have to tell you that the hot favorite.
It's got to be Ninja.
You must have looked at this.
No, everybody knows Ninja. That's the only guy I know.
Tyler Ninja Blevins.
Yeah, he's the most famous video gamer in the world.
I'd never heard of him until 3 seconds ago.
Makes millions of dollars as an endorsement deal with, I think, Red Bull. And, yeah, my nephews know this guy. He
failed to qualify.
Excuse you. Shut the back door and the front one when you get to it, because I don't believe you.
Hot favorite Tyler Ninja Blevins failed to qualify for the finals, so all eyes for the Super Bowl of Fortnite are on streamer
Muty King.
No. Ty
Ler Blevins Ninja.
No. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Turner T. Few Tenny.
Oh, man.
Triple T, they call him.
Gonna be hard to beat.
They were, they're all in New York City this weekend, so by the time this episode is released,
we'll know the champ?
We will know the champ.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. You're going to be watching? You got the Gamer channel?
Yeah, that's on the Video Game Network.
Mm-hmm. VGN.
That's a channel? What was the old channel called? G4. That was the closest thing we had, and that was how Olivia Munn got her start, because a bunch of teenage boys saw their first woman on...
Is it really? I didn't know that's how she got her start.
Yeah, she was huge on G4. I forget what the show was called, and obviously he's a movie superstar now, but yeah, G4, and then that obviously failed because the video game channel's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're at the VGN.
I don't know. I think I made that up. Oh. I'm not sure. Before that, Mr. Rogers.
I really can't wait. It's a bygone era. His program was, way before or during the time of Mr. Ferrari. Much more influential. Mr. Rogers ended up
biting your tongue.
Mr. Rogers was actually doing things.
Oh my!
And was nationwide instead of sitting down and playing an upgraded idiot machine.
He was keeping people entertained on a Sunday morning.
Once a week in a church parking lot.
Keeping people entertained.
Wherever the hell Ferrari was, sipping his pints of hot
WPVI-TV is not a parking lot.
Just putting on his same suit coat he's been putting on for 35 years with elbow patches. Taking one more drag off of his camel.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong? How do you not respect the legends?
One big swig out of that pint that he's got in the suit coat pocket.
Yo, you bite your tongue.
Puts a proper Ferrari suit bowl over his head to touch up the haircut.
Before that, the Mueller testimony.
Took home $140 a week.
And before that, Boris Johnson.
Probably hit his wife.
And before that, the WWE Raw reunion.
Died penniless on the organ.
All right. That's your warning right there. All right? You get out of line, though. Third time I played Pulse Rock. This is the last time I played Pulse Rock.
Yeah, when do we got to start paying fees?
Fast 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ah.
The Quentin Tarantino film.
Yeah.
Interested?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I'd go see it.
Talk more about that.
On the turnaround.
NFL training camp.
Oh, boy.
Broke this week, Steve. All 32 teams officially in camp. Come on, give me your big prediction. It's early.
My training camp predictions are...
What's your favorite depth position battle for the Eagles? Who do you got taking the slot corner spot?
You'd be crazy not to look at the cornerback position and wonder who's going to be the guy.
Always a question mark there. After that, the Mueller hearing.
Boy, so much is going to change now.
This is it. This is it right here, huh?
Finally.
Huh?
Finally.
Something
big.
Netflix. Did you see them in the news this week?
Netflix. No, did they up their price again?
First time they've lost subscribers in 10 or 12 years.
Wow. I wonder what did
the-
they equate that to?
Blaming it a mix on the price hike as well as they had kind of waited because I believe these were first quarter numbers or set whatever. And the next quarter is where they were going to release the Stranger Things and Orange is the New Black, which is kind of a couple staples that people will be around for. First time in years that Netflix has lost. They lost, what do they say, some billions of dollars in 6 days after those numbers came up. But that's how much they're worth. That's
just
really
based
a
on
drop
stock?
in the bucket. Yeah.
Okay.
And lastly, I can't believe we didn't talk about this the last 2 weeks. Top Gun Maverick.
Nostalgia.
Didn't that look? I don't know how they do that because it looks so. When I hear Top
exactly
Gun
like
sequel,
it.
I'm thinking, for crying out loud! But that trailer, I'm in.
And they pieced it together with clips from the original, which is 30 years old.
Yes.
And at some point, like when he's on the motorcycle riding down
next to the airplane,
next to the runway, I actually thought, don't know if that's from the original or if that's the new one.
It doesn't hurt that he looks maybe 3 years older than he did in the 1984. But they've done it. They've sucked me in with this whole idea that
I'll definitely go see it.
Oh,
even if that trailer came out and it looked like garbage.
Well, this whole idea that he's still kind of the rebellious bad boy, and that's why he hasn't been promoted.
Well, that's
he should
the thing.
be.
What happened? What did Maverick do to still be a captain 30 years later?
Cannot wait. I believe that's next year.
Yeah,
that comes out. So
can't wait to see Goose.
Yeah, Iceman.
Mm-hmm.
The whole gang's back.
Yeah, think he's still flying through Iceman's jet wash.
Think he's still dead.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Maybe he comes to him in in a dream.
That's just dumb.
What? You wouldn't pay money to see Goose back? Maybe it was a conspiracy.
Listen, if it's a dream sequence, I don't want him back.
Sitting at the piano. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Yeah, boy, that'll bring the viewers in. This cameo from a dead guy in a dream playing an idiot machine. Come pay for this ticket.
Oh, maybe there'll be a duet. Him and Ferrari.
The ghosts of beyond. The ghosts of irrelevant idiot machine players. Sorry.
Hey.
How dare I? Netflix, Steve, talked about it, lost subscribers, lost a lot of valuation. I don't know if they're in trouble, but this is probably going to be the biggest upcoming year ever for Netflix.
To see how they bounce back, if they bounce back.
Well, because you have the Warner Brothers thing coming next year, and then later next year you have HBO Max, which is going to have HBO Cinemax as well as a whole catalog of those shows. So you have Friends leaving, you have The Office leaving, you have all of these big shows leaving Netflix, and yet they're still spending billions and billions of dollars on original content that just can't draw the viewership and the numbers that these reruns do.
Yeah, it's weird how people are so up in arms about The Office leaving. Like, it's not going anywhere for a year and a half.
Yeah, and you know
just
what, like,
watch it.
Yeah, watch it, and you know what? If you switch your service, if you don't watch Netflix, subscribe to whatever the other one is, NBC Universal. But I still find myself fascinated with it. I could scroll through Netflix and say, "Oh, I need to watch this, need to watch this, need to watch this," and add it all to the list, and then never watch any of them.
Yeah,
because I get so distracted looking for things to watch. Before that, the Mueller hearing. Big changes coming.
Here it comes.
Sweeping changes in Washington.
I expect to wake up tomorrow morning to big news.
Before that NFL training camp, you yourself spotlighted the cornerback battle going on in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
This training camp, which is a big deal. That's a sticking point over there for the Eagles. Now, you're most excited for, you and I, we've talked about this before on this very podcast. Start of training camp, Steve, means we're mere days away from the start of HBO Hard Knocks.
Oh, that's right. Wait, who are they following this year?
Oakland, soon-to-be Las Vegas Raiders with John Gruden.
Now, this year was supposed to be the first year in Las Vegas, right? And then they pushed it back a year because they realized, we don't have a stadium.
Yeah, I know. I believe it was supposed to be next year. Okay. And I don't know if that one. The only thing I remember getting pushed, they didn't have a spot for this year, I don't think they thought the stadium would get done. They just didn't have a plan. Their lease with Oakland ran out, so they ended up signing 1-year lease with Oakland, even though a lot of people didn't want them to because, hey, you're turning your back on Oakland. You should leave.
Dude, what's going to happen if they win the Super Bowl in Oakland and then leave?
Oh, boy. Oakland's already unhappy about this, obviously.
Because there's still a lot of people that are pissed that they left Oakland, what was it, back in like the 80s or 90s to go to Los Angeles.
Yep.
And then when they came back, they lost a lot of fans.
Still people that are mad that the Browns left for Baltimore years ago. I mean, that was 30 or 23 years ago, and they got a team back since then. But that stuff lingers, when you kind of run out like a thief in the night. I don't think you could, if you're the Rams, you couldn't go back to St. Louis right now. The St. Louis hates that owner and that team because they abandoned them. So, boy, it's going to be a good year. Hard Knocks, though.
Yeah, I
John
love that
Gruden, a literal made-for-TV personality, leading the charge there in Oakland.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, because he's obviously very camera savvy.
Yeah, he was on ESPN for like 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. The dude has, if he gets fired today as the head coach, he'll be on TV again tomorrow.
Yeah, but he's also very paranoid. So I'll be curious to see him and the GM, also a guy from TV, Mike Mayock. They brought in a general manager from television. They fired the scouting staff less than a week before the draft because they were worried things were getting leaked and things, so they did the whole thing themselves. They had a draft that most would argue was not very good. And
what did his GM do for television?
He was Mike Mayock, so he was really just an NFL analyst, not game analyst.
Okay. But
you would see him during draft time.
So it's not like he was from like The Bachelorette or something.
No.
Like he was like the key grip.
Yeah, a former host of Wild Deuces or whatever this game show is, now running the Oakland Raiders. And before that, this weekend released the newest Quentin Tarantino film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Steve.
What is the plot to this movie?
So it's set regarding an actor and his stuntman. That would be Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio playing those roles, but it's set in California during the time frame of the Manson murders. So you have Margot Robbie playing Sharon Tate. You have that whole thing happening kind of outside the main plot of the movie, but still happening, which is obviously intriguing to most people who find that case fascinating. This led me to my newest hot take that I released on Twitter this past week, Steve, and that I think Quentin Tarantino is overrated. And I think Reservoir Dogs, which a lot of people look at as, outside of Pulp Fiction, his finest work ever, I think Reservoir Dogs is his most overrated movie ever. Not that good. Take it to the bank.
I see the steam coming out of the top.
That's the Take Volcano, man. It doesn't just stop.
Take Volcano is ready to blow.
It doesn't just stop with sports, and when you've got a take about something like that,
or a Tate,
you've got to release it. And that I've never loved his movies. I like them.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously his movies have a certain Like there's a certain feel to them.
Sure. I mean,
They're
I
all
really
weird,
liked
out of sequence and like focusing on weird. I don't know. That's a terrible analysis of Quentin Tarantino movies, but like I know Tarantino movies enough to know when I'm watching one, like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Quentin Tarantino.
I really like Inglourious Bastards. I
never saw that.
I don't. Honestly, that's the only one I've really liked. The other ones are okay. And in fairness, though, I've never seen Pulp Fiction. I own
Titanic?
Top 3.
Air Bud. Underrated.
Air Bud is
Tarantino
absolutely underrated. The gritty feel when the dog has to eat its owner's insides to survive. A lot of people, I haven't heard anything about it, but a lot of people curious how he handles the Sharon Tate murder.
Angels in the Outfield.
Rookie of the Year.
Oh, Henry Rowan Gardner.
The finest F sports film of the 1990s. Take your Rudy and stick it where the sun doesn't shine.
It's a hot Tate right there.
I've got something for Rudy. If we got time, which we don't, I have got something for Rudy.
I'll tell you what. This music plays for about a minute. Time's ticking.
Listen, Rudy, a lot of people credit Rudy as being the start of this inspirational sports story. In reality, it was nothing like that. Rudy was an outcast on the Notre Dame team. The actual sack, big quarterback sack to end the season, it never even really happened. Joe Montana on the Dan Patrick Show even downplayed Rudy's contributions to the team as a whole the entire season. So this fake schmaltzy stuff about, he's so hated, nobody really likes Rudy as a teammate, and then all of a sudden they gather around him? It's as schmaltzy and stupid as saying it ain't no mountain high enough to Remember the Titans. And now Remember the Titans is a great sports film with its flaws. But if you put them right next to each other, give me Remember the Titans over Rudy every day of the week. Sean Astin made him a star, and he never turned into what he should have been after the success of Rudy. It's just a disaster. I don't understand why we have to glorify something like that when it doesn't make any sense. And it's a lie. It's a direct lie. You want a football movie? Watch North Dallas 40 or go down on.
Well, thank you for that. On social media at Stephen Kyle. We'll be back next week. Maybe we'll have some idea of what we're going to do before we start recording.
It will be better. I promise.
Can't be worse. We're 424-30-SK-POD, 424-307-5763. Again, all social media at Stephen Kyle. Talk to you next week.